Hello. Well, I'm locked out of Facebook Live again. So this seems like a regular routine every two lives I do, I get locked out. I have no idea why, but this is just something that Facebook loves to do. I really just need to get another platform. I really would like to go live on TikTok, but I don't have enough followers and it doesn't allow you without 1,000 followers. So till then, let me go ahead and get this linked over. This is just getting so old. I don't even know what's going on half the time here anymore. Now it's not letting me log into Facebook. I get so tired of it. It's ridiculous. It said it's going to send a code to my phone. There it is. All right, let me check this code. I have no idea what is going on with me being constantly locked out. I mean, it's crazy. It's just becoming insanity. All right. So let me see if I can log in. There we go. All right, so let me see if I can. My heat press is on. I'm turning this thing off because I will just be sitting here hacking all day if I do not. I need to get my windows opened here. Hello, if you're here and joining me, hello, good morning. I'm just fighting Facebook right now, so I'm over here trying to get logged in. It will not let me do a live again from my Facebook. So here we are again. All right, let me see if I can get... I'm going to try and share this over my Facebook so that people can get logged on. I'm literally getting so tired of Facebook with this. And I don't even know how to even correct it. Does anybody have any suggestions? Because I don't know why I'm getting constantly locked out. Like, I will do a live, I will do 2 lives, and then I'm locked out for the next 5. All right, so let me share this. Let me try and get to share this over here. All right, I'll be back. I'm going to try and share it from my computer. See if this works. Okay, so let's see if this is working. Well, let me turn down my volume on my computer. All right. Goodness gracious. Hello. Let me see if I can find you on Facebook now. What a process this is. I mean, this is insanity. Okay. I think I'm here. All right, if you're here, welcome. I'm going to try and see if we get any comments. If you can comment below, let me know you're here. Let me know if things are working. Say hello. Oh, good. We have Lisa and Jesse. Well, welcome. I tried to do the live on my Facebook page for my group, and it's just not working. I'm kicked out once again. You see and hear me good. All right, so I'm actually going to be doing a wreath, but I just figured I would hop on and just let people follow along, which is some of the things I'm doing right now. I'm actually getting some things ready for Mother's Day, because guess what this girl forgot? The pastor's wife, that would be me. I forgot that Mother's Day is this weekend. With all the hustle and bustle that we've been doing, running back to Florida, back and forth to Florida since February. Like we are down there since February. We have been down there 3, 6, 7 times, and each time we go down for 3+ days, like 5 days. So we have been just chaos with running back and forth, to the point where I said to my husband, I don't know if I'm coming or I'm going at a certain point. Hello, Angela and Jesse. So I forgot Mother's Day. So for me to go out and buy something now, or to, I thought, well, let me make something quick. Maybe I'll grab a plant at the store and, just do some little potted plants. But I'm not a gardener, and I thought that that would be more work than trying to find something here in the shop to just hurry up and make up real quick. And I've had these guys hanging out in my shop for since like 2020, okay? And these are just cute little houses. They are wooden houses that I had bought from Target. They come in a 3-pack, small, medium, and large, like it's a 3-pack house. They're wooden. They're about an inch, about an inch tall. And yeah, they're an inch, just a little over, about 1.25 inches. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something with them. So I've been painting the fronts of these. And literally, I'm only going to paint the front because I ain't got time to paint the whole house. I don't have time to paint the whole house. So just the front's getting painted. I am literally going to take these guys to my glow forge. And after they dry, I'm going to let them dry for a couple hours. And I'm going to engrave something on them. I'll engrave a scripture, some kind of scripture that goes with the house, but for Mother's Day. How about that? I don't know what it is yet. I'll find something. So that's what the ladies are getting this year. Last year they got a keychain. Year before, and that's literally, this is all I'm doing. I decided to do this teal blue. Why? Because it's my favorite color. And considering that I'm the one making these, I'm in control of that, right? I thought about doing white, but you know what? I like this blue, and I'm going to do blue. That's the fun thing about being in control, right? And I just thought, actually, I thought the white's nice, and I've engraved with white, and I'll show you one here in a minute. And it looks nice, but I thought, let's do blue, and let's do something different. Maybe it won't match everybody's decor, but I'm sure they'll find somewhere in their house for it. Let me show you the white one I did a couple years, like 2 years ago. And I did paint this whole one. I painted it white, and it took a lot more time because it's got this little chimney. Then I had to turn and flip, and I was like, I ain't got time for that. But there, I engraved that. That's engraving. Let me get you a close-up shot. These engraved nicely on the Glowforge. How cute is that? That's engraved. So I'll do something cute on it. I'm sure it'll be a scripture, just because it's Mother's Day. All right, I did see something. Oh, looks good. Thank you. Yeah, so I just chose not to do the white. I'm just gonna do, I did the teal. I love this color, and I wanted it to be something different. So this is where we're at. So I'm just gonna paint these up real quick. I'm actually going to, the lady who does the decorating at the church, she asked me to make like a red, white, and blue kind of patriotic wreath. The last one I did was for spring, and she's ready to tear that stuff down and get some summer colors up. So she said if I could get her something, a patriotic wreath, a red, white, and blue, she would change that out. So, does anybody here do Facebook Lives? Have any clue, maybe, what is going on? Why in the world do I get locked out? You know what, another thing here, and I think this is part of it, it constantly has me changing my password. And I don't know why. If I log in, so say I go to Florida. I'll be down there for a little. I'll get the hotel room. We'll stay in the hotel. We're all fine. I'll leave. I'll come back home, and then it tells me it doesn't recognize me. And someone is suspicious, like on my home Wi-Fi. It'll tell me that there was suspicious activity, and it don't recognize me, and I need to change my password. So I went live last night. All was good, and I had changed it earlier that day. I came back to the shop, went to go live. I got like 3 seconds in, and it shut me down and said, and I hadn't changed anything. And it said suspicious activity, and I was locked out again. And you know, you can't try to contact Facebook. That's a joke. They don't get back to you at all. Weeks. By then, my Facebook's up and running again, my lives. You have to laugh because I'm from the generation where customer service, businesses was built on customer service. And we are in a generation where businesses are built and they don't care anything about the customers, because there will be, like they always say, well, whatever, there's 2 more to replace you. And that's how, and that's sad, but that's how they feel, I think. Most businesses anymore, like, don't even care. Customer service is not even a thing anymore. Most places, I've come across so many places where they don't even have a phone number that you can literally talk to a live person. And what they do is send them an email. And they'll get back to you 2 days before you die to handle your problem. horrible. We've gotten so computer generated that it's either an email or a link or something. It's horrible. And I like YouTube, but I don't like how I can't interact. Like on my Facebook page, I can interact with people. You have to be, I guess you have to be logged in. You have to have an account here. Anybody can watch, but not everybody can talk if you don't have an account, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I don't like it here. I would love to, if you are on TikTok, please follow me there. I would love to get up to 1,000. And believe me, I will probably do a lot of lives there. All right, let me go throw this into some water. I think I have all that I have. So hopefully I don't have a ton of women show up. I mean, I'd love to. Oh wait, I got one more pack. One more pack. I would love to have a lot of women show up, but this is one of the times where I'm limited to what I got. And we have a guest speaker, so that always scares me. Because you never know how many women are coming with the guest speaker. So I get nervous about that. The one year I was so nervous. Like we always have one of our evangelists from our ministry. She comes and speaks. My husband actually ordained her through our ministry. So she does some of the women events and things like that. Most of you know my husband's a pastor. And if you don't know, my husband's a pastor, so that makes me the pastor's wife. Shh, don't tell nobody. Yeah, so the one year when she came, I think it was her first year that she was ordained as an evangelist. She had brought I think 15 women. And thank goodness that God provided that year, because I had done something different that I had never done before. Usually I already have pre-made gifts. They sit out. You know, come out and get one at the end. Everybody stand, blah, blah, blah. And that year I chose to make a candle, and it was scent beads. So it was these little beads that you can just, wax beads. You were able to just fill up a candle jar, or a little votive is what we did. So you put your little wick in, and then you could make your own candle. And thank goodness I had that year, because we probably had 45 to 50 women, which is large. We don't have a ginormous church. All right, let me message him, because if I don't, he'll be calling me 35 times. Here, hello. All right, so I had to. So anyways, that was a scary time, because I thought, oh no, did I even bring enough candle beads with me? But it ended up working out, so that was good. All right, so we're just going to pray that like that. It's the fishes and the loaves. God will multiply it, right, if it does happen. I'll be like, where all this come from? Then I'll share that miracle with you. All right, I'm going to go rinse this out. All right, are we still live? Are we still live? Yes, we are. Okay, mine's not showing live. Okay, let's get into doing a wreath. Let me shut off. I think I'm just going to do I was going to do a grapevine wreath, but you know what? I don't know if that'll be good enough to, not that it's not good enough. Durable enough to be packed away, brought out, packed away, brought out. So let me do a deco mesh wreath. That's what we'll do. All right. All right, let me. Oh, good Lord. So let's gather some supplies here. Am I still live, guys? Because on my Facebook, it's not showing it is. Let me try and get, I literally don't even know what's going on here. It's not showing me comments, nothing. Okay, yes, I'm live. Okay, it's back up. Ugh. When this heat press on in here is on, it literally dries this room out. I really should probably just bring a humidifier here is what I think I need. Okay, so let's gather up some supplies. We are going to do a deco mesh wreath. All right, I have not done one of these in months. So, it's crazy because once you know, it's like when you're working with something for so long, you remember how to do that specific item. Like I do a lot of grapevines. That's probably my number one seller is like grapevine wreaths. So I do a lot of those. But then when I get back to the deco mesh wreath, it's like I'm starting all over again. Like I can't remember what I'm doing. I should probably write this stuff down. Because I even have to think about how much I need to cut. Okay, so these are the three colors I had here. I would have liked to have had the navy blue, but I don't see any left. So we're going to use this kind of like, almost like a teal. And then these were the ribbons that I had gathered. Here are some of my ribbons that I chose. And then I might throw in some coil. All right, kind of we'll wing it until we figure it out. So let's put this aside. Let's put that aside and let's start cutting. Oh wait, let me get my wreath frame. Alrighty, so we are going to use a 14 inch. All right, this is just from the Dollar Tree. Can you see it? That's what we're going to use. And these are in 6 sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think I do either 6, 5, 6, or 7 per section. It's been so long I don't remember. I probably should write that down. And I say I'll do that, and I'm not going to, because that's the way I live. All right, so let's start cutting these. Let me get this just out of the way. All right. So if you've never done a Deco mesh wreath, or if you are doing a Deco mesh wreath, this is the 12-inch. These are from Michaels, okay? It is their Deco mesh, and they're kind of shimmery. Can you see the shimmer in them? These ones have the sparkle in them. So let me think. All right, I will need, so if I do 6 per, I think it is 6. So let me think, 6, and I have 6, and I'll do 2 per each. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'll need 12 of each of these colors. All right. I might even have a few extras over here. Let me grab these up if I do. I do. Some of these I overcut, and then I'll just keep them for the next round. And I have a few here. So let me see how many I have of these colors. All right, so I have 3 already. So I'll need 9 more. So let me cut those. And I do these about 30 inches. I don't want to set this on anything that's, I'm running out of space here. That's 4. And I just zip through these with my, I'm going to throw these on the floor, with my my rotary cutter. Six, 7. Running out of room. Seems like all of my surfaces are starting to be used. I don't want to put it over here where I'm in the middle of also doing a sign, so waiting for, I just added some green on there, so it seems like it's dry. I've always got like 30 projects going on in here. I don't think I'm ever working on just one. All right, so I cut 12 of those. Let's get 12 of the white. And my Facebook Live is frozen. Can somebody send a heart or something? I think my Facebook's frozen, or my, can somebody send a heart, a like? It looks like it is froze on my iPad. There we go. Okay. Guess it's not. It looks like it is. It's just really lagging. Thank you, Angela. All right, so I need 12 of these. 2. I don't think I have any of those over there. Let me see. have 2. So there's 4. I really need to just throw some of those out over there. I don't know why I save things. Sometimes I think that's my toxic trait, is I keep things that I never going to use again, thinking I will use it. I love to do that. 3, 4, 5. 6. 7. 8. So there's 12 white. And now let's get the blue cut. And I will save like some of the roll at the end, because what I'll do sometimes is I will take smaller pieces when I'm doing my grapevine, and I'll weave some deco mesh into them. I love doing that because it really can like fluff up it can make a smaller wreath like grow. And you know I'm all about them big wreaths. So I do sometimes add, if I'm going to save the ends of the rolls, I would at least like probably like a 12, 14 inch or more, then I'll save it of that, because I will use this too in my grapevine wreaths. I love using deco mesh in that. And my new favorite kind of deco mesh is the fabric. Love. It's so soft. It's literally feels like a fabric. I don't know what they call it though. Maybe they do call it fabric. Fabric mesh, maybe? I don't know. I love it. 5, 6. And if you're looking for it, you can find it on craftoutlet.com. If you haven't been there to get any of your wreath attachments, where am I at? 4, 5, 6, 7. Or any deco mesh or anything like that, check it out. One more. Okay, so that's 12 of each. We'll find out if that's correct. All right. So let's move on. So let's give me some working surface here. My glue is in the corner. I have a glue pot and it's in the corner up here. I don't want to touch anything to it, and it's still hot. I never stop at Dunkin' Donuts. I've never got an iced coffee. You know, maybe one time like years ago. I think I went through with my daughter. Because I do love iced coffee, but I'm really weird about it. I like coffee taste to a minimum. I like more of the cream than I do coffee, but I like the combo. So I was going past there this morning. I was running late getting here into the building, to my shop, and I thought, let me stop there. Well, I didn't even know how to order. Thank goodness the lady there was really nice. She had helped me with an order, because really all I wanted was a French vanilla, iced coffee. And she was like, with sugar. What? Like, okay, I don't know if I need to use. So she helped me along, which was very nice. And I got and took my first drink. Woo, puckered up. She, yeah. I don't know. That was a lot of sugar. Okay, so let's get some of these ties on here. The way I do my ties is I will do 3, I will use these 2 middle rows. All right, there is 4 rows here. I'm going to use the 2 middle. And I'm going to do 3 and 3. All right, so basically it's going to be able to do kind of like a zigzag when I'm doing it. I do these wreaths so differently that I don't ever remember from one to the other. Unless I go back. Let me look at my old one, I'll count it. How about that? Okay, clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about because I just looked at my old wreath and there's only 5 per section. Told you, I clearly don't. And I used the 3rd row in from, I think it was the 3rd row. Oh goodness. All right, we're going to use the 2nd row. There's 2 of them I have back there, and they're both done differently. That's what I mean. I seriously, sometimes I don't even remember what I'm doing. I just wing it. All right, so we're going to use, from the outside, we're going to use the 2nd row in. We're only going to do 5. That's probably why I always get extra, because I always think probably that I need 6, and I don't. So we are going to put 5 ties on the first section. Thank goodness I had 2 of them hanging out here because I don't even know what I do sometimes. There's so many ways to do deco mesh, and I do mean so many ways. There's no right, there's no wrong. And when you do them, every time you do them a different way, they will turn out just a little differently. So just remember that. This is my favorite way, is to kind of do it this way, because that one I chose my favorite wreath back there and it showed 5. So we're going to do that. So I just go ahead and I secure 5 pipe cleaners in this section. As you can see, I know it's a little harder to see, but there are sections in here. See how there are sections? There's 6 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so we're going to do 5 pipe cleaners, 2nd row in from the outside. All right. Now this part I do remember. So let me get some of this up here. I have runaway deco mesh. All right. This goes quickly, this goes easily. All right, so this is, we're gonna do red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue. We're just gonna continuously do that through the whole wreath, okay? And all we do is we take this and we're gonna just give a little burrito roll. You don't want it super tight, but you don't want it loose. So you wanna get that rolled under to begin, and then you're just gonna kind of finger walk up through the middle, okay? And you see how it's ruffling as we do that? And then I just kind of burrito roll that end in again. And that's just making it so it doesn't deco mesh frays on the ends. Now, if you wanted to, you could cut these with like a wood burning tool. I've never done that, and I've never had any issues. So I just stick it in there, tighten it up, and that's it. And this is one of the things where you have to trust the process, okay? Along the way, you just got to trust it. You're going to be looking at it and say, this thing's looking horrible. Keep going. Okay? Because believe me, it will work out. Even though you don't think it will. I just taught a class on this, a spring wreath class with my church ladies. And everybody was like, this is looking horrible. Trust the process, please. And what I do is, because these pipe cleaners are long, I probably could have cut them in half and did them, but I just take them and I nip them down a little bit every time I do them. So when I add one, I will just take and nip these down just a little bit, because you still are going to need some pipe cleaner to attach when we go in and put our ribbon in, okay? So don't cut them down super far, but you can trim them down, all right? And as you can see, I'll show you on the blue one. I just maybe nip off about 2 inches. The last time we was in Florida, I had grabbed a cold and a cough. We stayed in this hotel room. We've stayed there twice now during our stay down there. The time before was about 2 weeks prior. We was in the hotel room, and when we got there, I mean, I know Florida is like humid, but these rooms kind of, I don't smell really well. I haven't in years. I kind of lost my smell years ago, which is weird. But my husband smells everything, like everything. And he was like, it smells really weird and musty in here. And I'm like, well, I really can't tell. I can smell things, but it's like very faintly. So he's like, no, it smells musty. He said, as soon as I turned on the air conditioner in the room, it got really bad. Well, he walked away the last time with a really bad cough. And he was like, it was like he got sick right after that. And not really sick, but stuffy, and got a cough. And he says, I think it's from the mold in that room. I said, well, you can smell better than I can, so maybe it was. Well, all the hotels in the area were booked again. And the one that wasn't booked, I literally will not pay for. They went $500 and something a night. That's insane. You know, it's not even like we were staying at like the Hilton. It was a Holiday Inn. Okay, but I wasn't paying that. So I said, let's try the room again. Maybe we just had, let's try the hotel again. Maybe we just had a really bad room. Well, this time we get in and he says, oh, it smells really bad in here. And I'm like, really? And our room, actually had a dehumidifier in it with a note that says, please turn on. Or please use, I think it said. And then it gave like a little instructions on how long to run it, to empty it out. I'm like, really? We're in a hotel and we're having to deal with a dehumidifier and they're making us empty it and everything. So he turned on the air and he said, this is really bad. Well, sure enough, this time I came away with a cough. He coughed for like 2 weeks. This time I came away with it. So, needless to say, I will not be visiting that hotel room again. And it was weird because, like, we like to stay in a little bit of better hotels, and this actually had some really good reviews. But I don't know what rooms they were putting us in because the carpets were not the best of shape. The rooms were clean, but I don't know. I didn't think it was that great. Okay, so I got my first set, okay? My first section done, okay? See, it's coming together and looks weird, but believe me, it is going to, it'll shape up, all right? So all I'm doing is adding 5 pipe cleaners again to the next section, and I'm gonna go and work. And I do like to put my 5 pipe cleaners on just so that I can keep track of myself, because I can't talk and do something at the same time, as you can obviously see. I forget where I'm at. Even if I ain't talking, sometimes I'll be like, what am I doing here? Because I'll have the radio on, I'll be singing, oh, just going with the flow, and next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I messed up, like way back there. All right, so we're just going to continue on red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue, till we get this done. All right, let's grab some of these up. I don't want it to touch my glue pot over here, so I got to keep it on the floor. And I do have a little stand over here that I like to put my wreaths up. Jessica, oh, I'm glad you made the live too. Oh wait, I'm in blue. See what I mean? Everybody thinks I'm so organized, and the little secret is I'm a hot mess, like 99% of the time. And I say that honestly. And when you put these in, kind of make sure that middle is tight, okay? Really get that pipe cleaner down in there and tighten it up. Squish it down in, make it solid down there, okay? Don't be afraid to really get it tight in there. You really don't want it to be real loose. You want that middle to be like scrunched down in. And the only way to do that is when you push it, push that pipe, push it down against that pipe cleaner, bring that pipe cleaner up, and give it a good tighten on it. And then just throw it aside, okay? Even I will look at these and say, that doesn't look like it's coming together, but it always does. So does anybody have any great plans for Mother's Day? I'm really dropping the ball here. I'm really late to it. Usually I have gifts made for my daughters. And funny thing is, last weekend we just celebrated Easter. We were late with our Easter with our kids. And I have 4 children with all families, 7 grandchildren. So we celebrated Easter. We had an Easter egg hunt last weekend. And it was beautiful. So I was glad that we kind of waited. Because if I can recall, I think Easter it rained here. And we kind of just chilled at home. We had got in late. I think we got in Saturday before Easter. We was, again, in Florida. We are buying a home down there, so we've been really back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All right, last one on this section. My daughters love the boots. Let me tell you, they love them. And they're sentimental, so that's always a great thing. They love the boots. And then my daughter-in-law, I had 3 of them that got the boots. And the story with, I don't know if you was able to see, but I had made my daughter-in-law, I took her wedding flowers from 2 years ago. She got married COVID year, so 2020. And I had kept her vows that they had wrote, her and my son wrote vows. So that's my daughter-in-law. I had kept their vows, knew I always wanted to do something with them. I was going to put them on like a plaque and then their picture in the middle with like 2 on the side. Never got around to doing it. Kind of forgot about it, actually, to be honest with you. All right, here we go. We're see how it's starting to come together. We got 2 sections done. All right, so now we're moving on to our third. So I went over, I was trying to grab all of my grandkids' boots, you know, an old pair. Just told my daughters, they didn't know they were for them. I just told them I needed them for a craft. I'm always getting stuff from the kids, so they didn't think any different. and for my girls. So I went to go get my daughter. She's had her wedding flowers. They were wooden flowers. If anybody's ever used them, the wooden flowers, they're beautiful. I think they're called Soho, maybe. All right, so now all I'm doing is putting my 5 pipe cleaners on my next section. So she said she's been wanting to give them to me, and I said, hey, while I'm over there grabbing the boots, I keep forgetting those wedding flowers from 2 years ago, and you want to get rid of them, I'll still take them. She said, yeah, I want to get them out of the house. Great. So I took them, and my grandson was there, and he seen his old boots. They were his dinosaur boots. So he started crying, and because I was taking his boots. So I couldn't take his boots, even though they didn't fit him. I can't take his boots. So I'm like, I left, and I'm like, oh man, I ain't got a rain boot now for her. I said, well, I got these flowers, let me do something with it. So I took the flowers and I made them, incorporated them into a grapevine wreath, and took all of her wedding flowers, and I decided to sublimate a nice sign that was off to the side with her wedding vows. So hers, and it just said, you know, it was their vows, and I put all of her flowers, her wedding flowers, into a wreath. Turned out stunning. She loved it. She absolutely loved it. So that turned out nice. So she didn't get the rain boots, but she got something a little bit more special. You use the wooden flowers. They're so pretty because you know what? They actually almost feel like foam. And you can dye them and color them whatever you want. So she got the white ones and she colored her own. Just because she did like a vintage dusty rose colors and like muted mint greens. So it was very soft. So she was able to, when you get them, you can get them and color them yourself. She colored hers herself. So they were very pretty. And she did like a rose gold. And it just so happened, I had just got in a mesh. That's so pretty. It's called Champagne Rose. But this went into it, and I know it's not even bringing out the right colors. And I couldn't even photograph it well. But this is almost like a vintage rose gold. But they call it Champagne Rose. And it was almost the exact colors of her wedding, of the flowers that I had put in. So it worked out perfect. So she got the wreath. And I finally got to use their wedding vows that I've saved. And now she'll forever have her wedding flowers and her vows. And their vows were funny because, you know, guys, most guys are not sentimental. I will just say they had in the vows toilets mentioned. That was from my son. I will tell you, the funny part about that was my daughter, the electric went out on their street. And she called my son, my daughter-in-law, she called my son and said she was concerned because my grandson went to the bathroom and she needed to flush the toilet. But the electric was out. And she didn't know if she could flush the toilet and it fill back up because the electric was out. So, you know, my son had to put that in the vows. That he'll always be there to help her understand how a toilet works. So the vows were really funny. They were comical. So those were there. So they'll be forever cherished and laughed at by many who will come and read the vows. We laugh at her all the time because she's hilarious. like she thought, red, white, blue, red. There was mention in there about the coffee pot because she decided that she wanted to save a few steps by making hot chocolate with hot milk, that she was going to run the hot milk through the Keurig. And the Keurig, instead of putting it in water in there, she filled it with milk. And she was showing my son because he said, "You're going to break it." And she said, "No, I'm not." And she showed him that she could do that. And it did. It made the first cup. That was true. They went to go use it for the second cup, and it sparked, and it quit working. So that was mentioned in her vows. All right, red. She's comical, though. Sometimes we just sit back and laugh. I love her, though. She's just an extension of a daughter. Matter of fact, sometimes I see her more than I see my son-in-law, or my son, because she'll bring the grandkids over. All right, so continuing on with red, white, and blue. We're almost done with this section, which is awesome. And that will be at the halfway point. One thing about Deco mesh is it sticks to itself. Sometimes it can drive you insane. It's like a big old, as we call here in Pennsylvania, jagger bush. You know, you get in a jagger bush and one jagger bush entwines with another, and next thing you know, you are knee deep in jaggers. That is Deco mesh. Okay, see how it's starting to come together? It's starting. All right, so halfway point. Gonna do 5 more. So Angela, you remember it, you seen it, huh? When it was finished. I got some pictures of it. I think it's on my Facebook. If anybody here is not a member of my Facebook group, there should be, in one of my videos, there should be a title that you can go ahead and join there. Just remember to answer the questions. I get people that come over and they don't fill out the questions. I do not approve anybody without filling out the questions, and that's simply just to cut down on spam. And I do approve all the posts simply because I had to cut down on spam. I buy a lot of supplies from China. And man, that's all they need. I'm telling you, I don't know how these people find you sometimes. But they will attach themselves to your Facebook, and they will just, in your group, and they will spam the life out of it. I had some bad stuff in there. Like stuff I would never want in my group. I don't know, I know they sell that stuff off. Emails, things like that, but geez. I was like, so now I got to approve all of them. So if you do make a post, I'll get to it. I just sometimes, I will get sometimes 10 to 15 spams. You saw it on Facebook. Yeah, it was so pretty. It's horrible. The stuff that, once you get spammed, it's horrible. I thought it was bad enough just to get stuff in your email. Oh. All right. I'm actually going to open my door here, I think. Let me see if my air's on. to open up my windows here. I can't leave my door open because if I do that, I get traffic foot traffic, and I don't, my shop is not foot traffic. Those windows don't open, which stinks. And I don't like foot traffic, so I don't have like foot traffic here. It's not a store that you come into. I do exclusively online only. And when I first moved here, this used to be a nail salon. It was crazy the amount of people I would have knocking on the door. And then I open it and surprise them. They're like, oh, I want to come get my nails done. And then they see the shop and they're like, well, this doesn't look like a nail shop no more. Because I share next door is a tanning salon. So it was the perfect scenario for a nail shop. But this girl don't do nails. Unless they want them stained. And believe me, I can get them some stained fingernails. Their choice, ink or paint. Has anybody here not done a wreath, a Deco mesh wreath? Just out of curiosity, have you not done one? I have to rejoin your group. I updated Facebook and I have groups missing from people. Yeah, I do too, which is crazy. Mine does the same thing. And it'll be crazy because I'll look at my Facebook. You have never done a Deco mesh wreath. Oh, girl, you got to try it. Every time, occasionally I'll look at my amount of people that's in the group. And one time, recently, I was up to like 11,500 plus. So it said 11,500, fine. And then I noticed like a week or two later, I don't even know what made me look, because I usually I don't really even pay attention to it. I look and it's back down to 11,200. So, I don't know what Facebook does. But they do whatever they want. That's why I'm not on Facebook Live today, because they decide that I'm not worthy of it this week. Okay, so you're going to do a Deco mesh rail. Awesome. Yeah, that's a good way to start. The rails take a lot less mesh, so that's awesome. Usually like a roll or two. I like to, when I do the rails, usually even when I do the wreaths, I like to do 3 colors. At least 2. I don't think I've ever done one. A single color. But look how we're moving along. So I'm on my next section. 2 more to go. So 5 more of these. So the rails are a great way to start. Don't be intimidated, and just remember, trust the process, okay? Don't be thinking that, oh, this is not going right and it's not looking good. Because Deco mesh is very forgiving. So it's a great way to start your wreath making if you want to do wreath making. It's very durable. And even when you think it's a hot mess, it usually works itself out. I started with wreath making years and years and years ago. It was the first thing that I ever did in the crafting world. So I've been doing wreaths for 30 some years. All right. And when Deco mesh came on the scene, I can remember like it was an explosion of it. And everywhere you went, you seen a Deco mesh wreath. And it was weird because it wasn't even as evolved as where it's at now. Actually, I want to say it was called honeycomb. honeycomb mesh. I'm almost positive that's what it was called. And it didn't even have as tight of a weave as it has now. So even in itself, Deco mesh has really evolved. And it's still evolving because now it's becoming a lot more glittery, a lot more non-glittery, and it's becoming softer, such as it's becoming like a fabric material, which that I just showed you, that vintage rose color, that is a fabric-like material, and it just has a whole different feel. It's very soft. So it's still evolving. My wreath is growing. Trying to keep it from touching each other here. Yeah, I remember when wreath rails were very big too. They seem to be coming back like anything else. They're gaining popularity once again. They were popular a few years back. Everybody started getting away from, because everybody was doing wreaths, and of course, you know, people want to find new ways to come out with things. And it gained popularity a few years ago, and then it fizzled out, as everything does. But it seems to be coming back again. So if you're looking for supplies, craftoutlet.com is a great place to get supplies. But if you want to just go into let me plug in here. Oh, I turned my camera. Okay. There we are. But if you're looking for supplies and you just want to be able to walk in and get something, my favorite place is definitely Michael's for the Deco mesh. I'm not a fan of the Joann's ones. These ones, Michael's carries 12-inch, Joann carries 10-inch, which I usually work with. I usually work with 10-inch more than I do 12. But for some reason, the quality, I don't know if they changed it, their supplier, but I haven't been happy with the Joann's Deco mesh lately. So I would suggest just going to your local Michael's and grab it, because they obviously are still using the same supplier, because I just picked up some the other day and it was still good. And Hobby Lobby, I've got a few there, but our Hobby Lobby doesn't really have a great selection. You love Michael's and Hobby Lobby. I wish Hobby Lobby used to have a great selection of Deco mesh, and ours lately, I don't know if it's just the supply chain. All right, there we go. I got one more section here, and then I'm done. So 5 more to put in, and then we're gonna move along. So yeah, it's hit or miss at my Hobby Lobby. So I don't know if it's a supply chain issue, but they even made the sections smaller. So I don't know if they're getting away from it and just deciding not to carry it, because it's Deco mesh goes in and out. It's always here. There's always people making it, But, you know, it's like anything else. It just trends and then it doesn't, and then it trends and then it doesn't. It's still here, though. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon, ever. Because there's so many different ways to use Deco mesh. Like I said, I incorporate it in my grapevine. I incorporate it in my swags. So, I don't know why Hobby Lobby kind of just really... And my Joann's barely has any. They only have a few different colors to choose from. It's not a big selection at all. And I don't know if they changed it or not. I'm not real crazy about it. It just seems to fray and shred a little bit easy, which, you know, oops. Oops. If you're working in a space with your grapevine, or I mean your Deco mesh wreath, give yourself some space, because you will... I'm going to talk about something that grows quickly. Deco mesh wreath does. All right, so let's put these aside because I'm going to be knocking over everything here. All right. Okay, now we got some room. The notifications aren't working. Yeah, well, I couldn't even go live. They booted me again, Maria. And to talk to like a literal person at Facebook? Yeah, right. That doesn't even happen. All right, that's a weird cut. Let me cut this. Or let me just see if I have another piece. So I don't know what Facebook does, Maria. I really don't. They just do whatever they want to do. They boot people out. They decide not to give notifications. I don't get notifications for some of the groups I'm in anymore. And I've already tried to check my notifications for some of them. For some of the sublimation groups, and it says they're on, and I still don't get notified. So we're just putting together today the lady that decorates our church asked me if I could make her, oh, I forgot to add this, if I could make her a red, white, and blue kind of patriotic wreath. She wanted to take down the spring wreath that I did, and she wanted to put something that could last through the summer. So here we are. I usually give it 2 to 3 twists once I put it on. I'll give it like 2 twists onto the wireframe and then a 2 to 3 twists on the, what's going on here? All right, let me trim that off. That was a weird end. One more piece. And when you do 5 of the pipe cleaners per section, it ends up literally falling in place when you're doing a tricolor one. So I did the red, white, and blue, and then it literally falls in place to be red, white, blue, red, white, and blue. And when I end, it ends exactly perfect, okay? All right, last one. Well, as you see, Maria, I got kicked out of Facebook, so not kicked out, but no more lives there. So I'll be waiting that out again. I really wish someone could tell me why that keeps happening, because I literally will do 1 or 2 lives, then it'll tell me that I went against standards and I cannot post a live. I can't do a live. Okay, here we are. All right, so red, white, and blue. And then all I like to do is, I kind of like to pull these edges up because I want it to make sure when it lays in, it lays flat against the wall, kind of. All right, so I just pull those in a little. Usually I make a sign for this, and usually my next point is I will go in and I will make a sign. I debated on doing a sign because she kind of wants to leave this up, and I don't even know if I have one. I thought I had pulled one out that I thought I might use. Let me see if I can find something. I'm not sure if I really want to do a sign. I just might just do ribbons and a bow. You know what? I'm not. I think I did decide that in the end I was not going to do any, let me get this out. I wasn't going to do any sign. That way she didn't have to worry about it. But as you can see, even if you are not the best wreath maker yet, you still could achieve this beautifully, okay? And let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with this. My mom ordered a wreath for me. She loves frogs, and she wanted no ribbon and then just a frog face in the middle on a sign, and she literally just wanted Deco mesh because she loved that. And honestly, you could probably just put this up and get away with it. You don't have to have something else. But usually when I'm doing these, my next step is a sign. I usually put the sign on, figure out where I want to do a sign, then I'll do the bow, then I'll do the ribbons, all right? But since I'm skipping a sign, I'm going to just hang this up over here, okay? Since I'm skipping that part, I'm going to go and I'm going to start a bow. So let's do that. And I already chose all the colors that I thought that I would like. You know, tried to get them to coordinate with the light blues, the dark blues, and of course the reds. So this is what we're going to do. I usually like to get 5 to 6 ribbons. Ugh, this cough is horrible. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to stick this aside. So we're going to make our bow. And as most of you know, I like to make my bow with the bigger bows. I like the Easy Bow Maker, okay? I was just at Michael's yesterday, and I seen they have a kind of a different, newer version of this. Might not have been the same. It might not have been the same designer. Maybe that's why. I should have probably went over and looked at it, but I was just passing by and it was on an end cap, and I was like, oh, that looks the same, but it doesn't look like the same. So I don't know if they were updating it or what they were doing. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to start out with probably an 18, let's do a 16-inch tail. All right. I really don't ever use this. I always feel like it's in my way. And especially these big ribbons, bolts of ribbon, it is definitely in the way. So I don't ever, that's something I don't really ever use. Just out of choice. So I'm going to do a 7-inch. The nice thing about these bow makers are they have lines on them that give you increments. So you can watch your ribbons when you do them. So I'm going to do 7 inches. I'm going to do 7-inch bows, all right? Goodness gracious. Once my throat dries out from that heat press, it's done for the day. All right, and then I like to use stick pins to kind of, so I don't have tails and ribbon flying all over my shelves. So you have the Easy Bow Pro. Oh, maybe that's the new one. I have to go to Michael's probably today again, so I'm going to check it out. All right, so I did the dark blue here, and if you are a member of Sam's Club, when they bring out their ribbons, we just had the spring summer collection. It's, you know, when that comes out, let me tell you, every designer in my 100-mile radius, I kid you not, they are there the first day I think that they put them out. They must have radar on them because they are there scooping those bolts of ribbon up as fast as they can. And I think they like go to every Sam's Club that they can within 100 miles. But if you're lucky enough to do that, what I do is, usually you can go to samsclub.com and I will wait for it when I know that they're going to be about released. This was the winter collection. This was Christmas, and so I'm going to say fall winter collection. Make sure that you get there and you get these because these are $8 for 50 yards. This is probably the best buy that you can get when it comes to ribbon, is to get it at Sam's Club when they get those collections out. So I'll watch for them online, and I will grab a few collections. That way I'm not fist fighting anybody at Sam's Club, because it literally, I've been there when they were rolling them out from the back, and there was a line of women waiting for them. I don't know if that happens everywhere, but it happens here in Pennsylvania. So anyways, but I like to get ribbons that I know that I can use even in the other seasons. This is a Christmas collection. It was just red and white stripe with a little bit of glitter in it. Hey, I'm throwing it in my red, white, and blue Patriotic, and I knew that was exactly what I was going to use it for. That in my Valentine wreaths, all right? So I knew this was going to have multiple use through the year. This wasn't just going to be a Christmas ribbon. I don't mind the shine on it. It's just glittery. So is my Deco mesh. So I don't care. Okay, so let me get... But Sam's Club ribbon is awesome because you get so much for the price. Now this one I'm going to go down to about, since my first one was like 7, I'm going to go down to roughly 6.5. It's light blue with numbers and lettering. The dowels are hard plastic. Oh, it's a lifetime warranty. Well, maybe they did change it. That's awesome. Yeah, because after a while, these wooden dowels, they kind of, they get a little bit, not loose, you know, they'll get a little bit of wear in them. And, okay, is this not going to go in? They will sometimes break too. I've had them, this is probably my 3rd one already. Well, this might not get a, oh, that's crazy. That says it's not going to go in through that glitter. All right, I am not going to mess with that right now. I'll figure that out later. Okay, so let's go to, let me get this in here. I'm going to do that one. And I pretty much keep the same tails throughout because I keep a little bit longer tail Yeah, do I have a little bit of waste that probably I could get a little better at? Well, probably. But sometimes when I put it on, I'll put it on my, you know, my wreath, and I'll be like, at least I can cut it away, but I can't add it, kind of thing. So that way I can cut away what I want. Sometimes I feel like I could have probably not done that much, but whatever. And these I got, these things, they are multi-purpose scissors. They are the sharpest scissors I have ever owned. To the point where I had them, and like the second day in, I was trying to hustle along, and I cut my finger open. I actually had thought that I cut my finger off. So now I'm a little bit nervous of these. I was actually afraid to use them like the next day. I mean, I cut my finger bad. I had actually thought I cut off the tip of my middle finger. I was dovetailing, and I was in a hurry. So, you know, that's what happens when you're in a hurry. You kind of aren't as cautious with things, and I wasn't. Yeah, so that was a bad cut. I couldn't get it to even stop bleeding for a couple hours. I actually thought, oh man, I'm going to have to go stitch this. But now, as you see, each time I get smaller in my loops, and I usually like to do some solids with some prints when I'm doing them. And 2.5 inch is my favorite size, but I will throw 1.5 in there as well. I probably should have put that blue on there, but I wanted to break that up a little. And what I probably should have done was done a 2 inch, but that's all right. I'm gonna go with it. I have that in a 2.5 inch color as well. But I'm just going with it. And I'm gonna use, I always use this for a top bow because it's like sparingly. This is one of my favorite ribbons. I call it Dorothy's Ruby Red Shoes. Love that ribbon. It's expensive, so it's usually the middle part of my bow because, again, it's expensive. But it literally looks like Dorothy's Red Shoes. And I am just going to use it as my center. But it's one of my favorite ribbons. I use it a lot. But it is costly. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to gather this up. It's going to be a handful. I'm going to stick this down through here, and I'm going to tighten this. And this is where you want to try to get this in here and flatten this and tighten this as tight as possible. Okay. Let's put this aside. Now we're just going to pull our bow apart. Okay, there we go. Look at that. We got a pretty, pretty bow. All right, so let's bring this down here, and then we'll fluff it more once we get it into our wreath. Okay, so all we're going to do is I just kind of pulled it apart a little bit just to kind of get it so that I can work it in here. All right, and I'm just going to weave this down through. I'm going to stick this in. I'm going to just tie this to the rail. I don't want it to be smushed down in there, but I want it to be down in there. So I'm just going to lightly tie it. This is where you kind of work blindly sometimes. Now let's get this bow fluffed, pulled out and around. Get these in here, manipulate them around. And then we're going to go and cut some dovetails on them so I don't forget. Because sometimes I'll forget that. This is where I get a little gun shy because this is where I cut my fingers last time. Hurrying along, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. Because I need my fingertips. I kind of like them there. I think they look nice on my fingers. Not off my fingers. Oh, that one I did wonky. Let's fix that. And to dovetail, all you do is just fold it in half and then cut the center out to the edges where the wire is. Okay. Dovetail is simple, and you know what? You do not have to do a dovetail. You could do just a slant if you don't prefer to do that. That's up to you. Make the wreath yours. Okay. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing if you don't want to. That's the beauty. And sometimes that's what makes it nice because it's more unique to you. All right. So let's get these pulled out a little bit more. All right, I think I got all the tails. Just making sure. Okay. And I always hang mine up just to check it because it's hard to see when you're doing eye level when it's laying on a table. So put it up on a wall. Check it that way, because sometimes that's a lot easier of what needs cut, what doesn't need cut. where you need to fluff things out, where you don't, okay? Okay. I'm just going to throw a couple ribbon tails in here just to add to the bow and just to get it kind of to go around the edges as well, okay? So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll do 9, that's usually what I do. So, I'm going to go back to my ribbon, and I'm just going to choose 4 of these, okay? The colors that I'm probably going to use is, I'm definitely going to use this because I do need to get some of this blue incorporated into here. So I'll do this with, I think, this, just to get those 2 incorporated. And then I am going to do, I usually like to do a 2.5 inch with a 1.5 inch. So I'm going to do this, but I'm going to go pull out a thinner because I don't really want to use this as much, or you know, that would have been great, but it's my expensive ribbon. So I have a 2.5 inch or 1.5 inch in this, so let me do that. And I don't know where my ribbon tail board is. I looked for it earlier, I can't find it. I might have taken it home when I was working on the kids' stuff. So I'm just going to do 14-inch tails. And I will do I'm going to do 4 of these and 5 of the other, since I'm doing 9. 3. And if you haven't bought a ribbon tail board, they're awesome because you're not individually having to cut every one of these, and they're all exactly the same size. So I'm going to have to cut another one here. I don't know. I've been packing up some stuff, so who knows. I don't think I would have packed it, but who knows with me. See, I would have had these cut already if I'd have had my ribbon tail board. It is definitely a time saver. And yes, I sell them. If you're looking for them, they are in my shop. The last time I made a wreath, couldn't find it either. I don't know why, I just don't make several of them and keep them. But I don't. I like to run around looking for stuff that I know I have. Alright. And then we'll do 5 of these. One thing I like about my shop is it's so quiet. I have a very loud house. Does anybody else have a loud house? My grandkids are over a lot. I have 2 that live literally 1 block down, so they like to come up, ride the golf cart up. They will come up, and they will play in the swing set. We have a very big swing set for the grandkids. So they're usually there. My other daughter, with my one granddaughter, she comes over often because she lives in the area as well. So my house is loud, and it's so quiet here. So sometimes That's so cute. Thank you. So sometimes it's nice to escape to my shop where it's quiet. It's just me. I work alone. Usually just have Alexa playing in the background. Three, 4. So see, you don't have to have a lot of expensive tools. As you see, I didn't have a ribbon towel. And that's how I did ribbon towels forever. A board, but sure, some things make life easier, and a ribbon towel board definitely does. All right, so I'm going to put these two together, and I am going to put these two together, okay? And the way I do that is, now I could leave this just like this if I wanted to. If that was all I had, I could leave it just like this, okay? And it's still beautiful. But I'm going to go ahead and I am going to put some ribbon tails in there just to incorporate the different colors throughout as well. All right, so let me start with the one where I have number 5. And all I do is, I'm going to take these, I'm going to lay these on top of each other. I'm going to fold them in half, and I'm going to dovetail these. All right, so that they're ready to go, and I do that before I put them in, just simply because I'll forget, and I don't want to go around looking for them. So all I did was I already folded this in half, I gave it a crease, and I'm going to do that little bit of walking again, straight up it, so I pinch it nicely, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this down, and remember I told you don't cut your pipe cleaners too short, because we're going to go in and we are going to attach these in there, okay? So I'm just literally going to take this in here. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to find a spot, and I am going to wrap the pipe cleaner in there. And I'm going to take this, and I am going to spread these out. Just like this, okay? So see how they're spread out. They're across from each other. So you're literally opening them up, making an X. So make an X with it. Now I'm just going to grab the other ribbon. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half this way, and I'm going to dovetail it. Here we are, dovetailed. And again, I'm just going to scrunch up that middle, and I'm going to find a spot for it. And if I need to add more along the way, I feel like that wasn't enough, no biggie, I'll add them. And then pull them apart to make an X. Can you see those? Okay. So we're just bringing this bow all around the outside, okay? It's basically what you're doing with tails. Yeah, make yourself one. You're going to love these because they're so nice to change out for the holidays, because you can just incorporate your colors. And I don't only just hang these on my doors, they're hanging inside my house. I have a wreath. Now it's a burlap one. I did it all in burlap. It is on my door going to my basement, which is in my kitchen, which would literally be where a pantry door is. I don't have a pantry. And that's there. I have one on the inside of my bathroom door, on my half bath, and that bathroom is done in beach, So I did a beach themed, and it's a small one. It's probably, I think it's done on a 10-inch wreath, so it's a tiny one, but it's so cute in my bathroom. So I don't just hang wreaths just outside. They're scattered through my home. You could put one above a guest bedroom, like a bed, even above your bed. So we're just moving around, getting this incorporated all around. I might not even need that many. Maybe not. Sometimes I put them closer, sometimes I don't. And then we just have a lot of ribbon. Sometimes I don't. So. Okay. Which one did I end with? This one? All right, we might be able to get them all in. So since this one doesn't have a sign, usually you have to kind of work around the sign, making sure you're not covering up the sign, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have to do that this time. Because it didn't have a sign. And that's why I usually put, I'll do the Deco mesh. The way I do it is, everybody does theirs different. I usually do my mesh, my sign, my bow, then my tails. If anybody here hasn't tried a mesh wreath, try it. You're going to find out. And just remember, trust the process, okay? Because that's probably the part that really when I was teaching the class recently, you know, that was everybody, my daughter especially, she's like, Mom, this just isn't turning out. I can't do it. She's not a crafter. And she didn't even really want to take it. I said, oh, come on, you'll be good. You can do this. She ended up walking away loving her wreath. So, but she was the same way. This isn't working, Mom. Well, it is. You just got to trust it, okay? All right. And I'll show you what I do a lot of times. I will take my fingers, if it's almost like you iron the ribbon because it's wire. I just take them and I roll them, like roll it with in between my middle finger and my index finger. And it will make your tails, or it'll kind of curl them under. I like to do that so they kind of like puff up and out. As you can see, this is like puffing up. And then it just makes them so that they end up nice. It's almost like you iron it with your fingers, okay? And we are finished. I'm not going to add no more to it. Okay, let me see where we at here. Okay, there we are. Look how full, how pretty. And it's really very easy. If I wasn't talking, I probably could have had this done under an hour for sure. Under an hour for sure. But, you know, I'm talking and... So what you think? Super easy. They turn out beautiful. Sometimes I find the hardest part of this whole thing is me trying to pick the ribbon. That's the part sometimes for me. But other than that, super easy to do. So this is going to head to my church. She had asked for a patriotic wreath and leave out all summer. This is it. Okay. All right. If you haven't joined me in my Facebook group, I will put a link when I'm done here. And join me over there. I do sublimation as well as laser cutting and wreath making. Okay, that's usually kind of what I do over there. Or floral. It doesn't necessarily have to be wreath, but I do a lot of wreaths and all the other things. So I am going to get off of here. You have a great day. And if you ever need me, you can find me on Facebook, Shar Sethman, and you can always message me there. I do have an Etsy shop as well, and if you don't make wreaths and you're not into it and you just want to purchase them, I do have an Etsy shop and I do list my wreaths over there, as well as my sublimation and as well as my laser cutting stuff. It is over there as well. And the nice thing about Etsy is you can break your payments down into 4 easy payments. So I use that a lot. When I make bigger purchases, I use it a lot. They allow you to pay at the end when you go into checkout. There is a little spot there where you can choose Klarna, Klarna, and you can check out that way. It gives you 4 payments, and they come out every 2 weeks. So it's like an 8-week plan. I love it. It's kind of like their Sezzle or their Affirm or anything like that. So that's just their brand that they use. All right. So if you're interested in that, you can always go over there and check that out as well. And thank you for joining me. We've been here for a while. It's one of my longer videos. So I love you guys. Thank you for your support, and just thank you for joining me. And you have a great day.